Hey everyone, it's Sarah Jane. I've got little Archie. Say hi, Zoe. Say hi to the people. He's very sensitive underneath his armpits, aren't you? Yeah. Oh, such a beautiful dog. Anyway, I'm here with Archie, and we wanted to talk to you today about what freedom means to you, but also if you have an animal that is fearful of fireworks. Archie certainly doesn't like loud bangs and noises, and I'm hoping that this year that animals around the world get a reprieve from the crazy, short-lived thrill of a fireworks display and crackers going off and all the rest of it. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and also just follow on kind of, it's all relative, and it all kind of it's all the same conversation that we were having the other day about the soul contracts that we have with animals. And so many of you reached out and said how fantastic it was that the little Cavapoo that I was gestalt tracking was found, and asked me, what does it mean, when we sometimes want what we want. And one of probably the greatest lessons that our animals teach us is allowance, allowing people to make their own choices, and also be an allowance of wanting behaviors from our animals who share our lives with us. And of course, there is soul contract involved in that, but don't necessarily have as much freedom or a level of freedom that they would have if they didn't have so much noise coming from our heads. And to just try and teach us in every way that they do that we are eternal beings just as they are, that we have power of choice. And instead of getting ready to get ready all the time and trying to prepare and trying to make sure that we have everything lined up. And I'm coming back full circle into, how you can make preparations, how you can be mindful and aware, not careful, which means there's something to be afraid of, but being aware on nights like this, where perhaps there will be fireworks or loud bangs going off in your neighborhood, that there are things that you can do to support your animals to stay calm and safe, and not be affected by the loud noises and bangs. And I'll post a video, I've done a couple of those, on how you can do some of those preparation tools for your animals later on. Coming full circle back again, and bear with me because I'm kind of there's quite a few things that I want to touch on that all kind of bring you full circle back into, that we do have finite time on this earth in these physical body suits. And one of the biggest lessons that our animals, or all animals, teach us is that they understand eternal beingness. They can hop in and out and come and go. And I think that's a lot of reasons why they live shorter lives than us, because they're not attached to their physical bodies the way that we are. And I have a whole module on this in my animal communication class and programs that I teach. But just for today, just know that that's one of the biggest gifts that we can learn from our animals, is the space of non-attachment, to not be attached to anything really. And I know that that's hard, especially when you are attached to wanting your animals to say, not pee on the couch, or not bark every time they hear something, but to just ask them to do that when there's something you really need to pay attention to. And also that animals, because they are so generous and so patient with us, will often take on or mimic our allergic reactions to life, will amplify where we're out of congruence in our own lives in any way, shape, or form. And that though that may not be in their best interests to do so, they know exactly what they're doing. And if we would just listen, right, they wouldn't have to be in a space of discomfort of perhaps having allergies when you're having allergies. And I know a lot of people take pride in the fact that their animals are very much like them. But what if there was an easier way? What if there was an easier way to do that? And just raise the vibrational frequency of the fact that, gosh, yes, I just did go off into, thinking about all the things I don't want from my animal in their behavior. Or like tonight, maybe you're thinking and wondering, oh gosh, are we going to have a huge massive craziness? I know a lot of the pubs and things have opened up in the UK today, and the police are expecting a lot of craziness. So if we can look at the anticipatory energy of an event that may or may not happen, right? So we're not looking at existential fear and survival patterns here, but things that are uncomfortable, things that could create or cause harm, not only to you, but to your animals. Of course, you want to take preventative steps and be prepared in, having rescue remedy or CBD oil drops ready, or a thunder shirt, or a little dark cave for your animals to be able to hide and stay quiet and do all of those things. But above all of that, regardless of where we are, and this relates to what we'll often do for our animals but we're not willing to do for ourselves, how we do anything is how we do everything. And of course, energy follows our emotional state. So if we're thinking that something bad is going to happen, this is where some of the law of attraction stuff kind of happens, but there's a piece that's missing, is if energy flows where your attention goes, yes, notice, oh gosh, I am slightly anxious that there may be some fireworks happening tonight that might upset Archie, for example, or but don't go into the conclusionary reality, because what we think we attract. And what if we can notice it and then bring our awareness back to what we want to see happen? So envisioning that the neighborhood is going to be really, really quiet tonight, knowing that through the power of intention, that I can put my attention on creating a beautiful bubble of violet platinum rays of light and surround all the people and animals. And I often use this visualization, an energy pull, what I call an energy pull, to help, say, the rhinos and the elephants that are in more imminent danger during a full moon. Like tonight we have a full moon eclipse, so the energies are amplified. It's a really dangerous time for the rhinos. And I'm not even going to go into the other tangent right now of, yes, animals all understand their eternal beingness. Yes, they understand that they're here to grow and evolve us. It still, for me, does not land well knowing that there are people killing those beautiful sentient beings, whether they have a contract or not. Same as, animals that are coming into this life and the experience of being a farm animal that is going to be killed for our, for consumption of humans. I just want to just sort of impart and remind you that if you make your intention and your power greater than the thing that you're concerned about, that's how we raise our vibrational frequency to be that of the energetic match of what we're calling in, what we want for our animals. And they feel that. This is where it comes back to, being a good, safely embodied pack leader for your animals. Is we need to lead by example, and remember who we are, right? Remember that we emanate a very strong vibrational frequency because we're thinking all the time. Animals don't live in that space. They live in the now. They live in the present moment, and they're very influenced by our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, especially the ones that live so closely with us. So remember who you are. Thank your animals for the lessons that they're showing you. If there's behaviors showing up that are not what you want, I know many of you that come to me come because you're concerned about a behavior that your animal is having, and you always laugh at the end of the session because you realize that your animal was brilliant in orchestrating whatever it took to get you and I to have a conversation so that we could work on some of the places where you were stuck in struggle, or where you were so caught up in the contrast, or in the right and the wrong, or fixing, that you couldn't see the wood for the trees. And when you start to change and you start to raise up into that pure positive energy that animals live in all the time, that a lot of these things start to change. um, the same as when an animal you love is sick, just as when someone that's human that you love gets sick. Of course there's worry, of course there's consternation. And I know a lot of you often ask me, did I contribute to the deterioration of my animal's health because I bought into the prognosis that they had cancer, or a brain tumor, or something very chronic going on, that Western medicine was telling you is a death sentence. Remember, they're not attached to their physical bodies, and they're like, if I can skip the part where I have to go into suffering and just, be in and skip out of my body, that's what they're going to do. But just like people, if the people in our pets' lives, if we're not ready to let go of that animal, because we don't understand eternal beingness, we don't understand that this is a completion and circle of life, and whenever there is life, there is death, and then there is rebirth. um, our animals will often stay longer than they want to, because they know that we are not ready. Same as when animals go missing. Sometimes, and I'm not saying always, but in my experience of doing missing work, tracking animals for 20 years, being an animal communicator before I knew there was such a thing as this, from childhood, there's always a lesson to be learned from our animals. And um, they will often go walkabout. They will often go not only to have their own experience, perhaps, especially cats, who really have a lot more freedom, a, 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 a a bigger capacity or level of freedom than dogs, who are very much involved in our headspace. Uh, Oftentimes, I've had animals tell me they're not ready to come back yet to their people, because the people are still in the learning through the experience of them going missing. A lot of times they don't want to come back to the same home because it doesn't feel good. It's not light. It's not strong. I once had a dog that loved being on the farm with all the other farm dogs, but his person wanted him to be in town, in the townhouse with her. And he was like, I don't want this experience. His level of freedom he felt like his level of freedom was very contracted. Um, and he didn't want that. And even though I told his person, she was adamant that was her dog and it was her baby, and she'd anthropomorphized him, and she wanted him to be with her. um, Animals will help us, to get over worry about death. Animals will show us where we're restricting our own desires to be free, where you may be creating an allergic reaction to life through migraines, or um, psoriasis, or some kind of disease in your body. And this little dog was having none of it. He'd asked his person that this is what he wanted, and she wanted nothing to do with it. First moment that he could, as awful as it sounds, remember, they come and they go, they're in and out, they're not attached to their physical bodies, as horrifying and as grievous. It brought her so much grief, and then a lot of guilt, because she kept going, if only I'd listened. That little dog ran out the front door and got killed by a car, in the body, out the body, right? They have no point of view about it. They're in total allowance all the time. So just remember that one of the best ways that you can support your animals during any time of great consternation, of crisis, of stress, whether that's a thunderstorm, whether that is noisy house guests visiting as we go into re-entry, whether that is crazy fireworks and loud music and parties. Again, what if you set the intention for your animal friends that you're going to be the secure pack leader and that you get to actually shield them through your energetic shield, raising up pure positive love energy, raising that energy up, influencing the vibration of the field, that your dogs don't get affected or your cats by the loud noises or fireworks or anything else that's going on around them. So I made a few notes here because I know although there's so many tangents that are happening, I tend to wander off. But I hope that you're starting to actually realize that everything is connected to everything. One of the greatest lessons, as I said, that our animal companions teach us in our soul contracts, because they choose us in the experience of, I wonder what life would be like with Sarah Jane, and some of those are temporary and fleeting, like me, visiting Archie. I've been with him for 3 months and I'm not going to be here for a while. If that's the experience that called him in so that he could have that with me and me with him, that's beautiful. With our own animal companions, life is as long as they choose to be in it with us or leave. And whether that means through death, that means through running away, going to another person for a new experience, like my cat Satchmo did. They're asking us to look at, where are we in our own loss of freedom? Where are we in a state of learned helplessness or victimhood? So question on the 4th of July, independence. What does independence mean to you? And more, I think, aligned with the energy of this full eclipse is to ask, what does interdependence look like and feel like for you? What does freedom feel like to you? And where do you feel like you are willing and ready on this beautiful full moon eclipse to let go down into the shadows, do some shadow dancing, feel your emotions so that you can heal, and make a list of all the places where you're ready to expand, even if you don't feel ready, your awareness on what freedom feels like to you. And maybe that's time freedom, maybe that's money freedom, maybe that's location freedom. Because once you name the thing that you're asking for, you no longer have to be allergic to life, and you no longer have to be in resistance to death of the old dream, death of a life you once had, right? You get to grieve well in the dying process. You get to celebrate life, and you no longer have to make yourself sick in order to create a chronic disease in order to get out of a life that you're not living. This is where animals would never consciously create suicidal situations like we do to get out of their life. They know, they understand infinite beingness. They understand that it's okay to be here now, be present in the moment, and stay in the now. Don't keep talking about old news. Don't keep talking about what was. Don't keep calling back the thing that you don't want. Notice when you sort of notice what you do want and you put your attention on that, you're going to get more of what you want. Don't focus on more of what you don't want. This is why the law of attraction never works. You want to feel, right? Because energy in motion is a frequency that our body is giving us feedback to all the time. So feel into, is this a vibrational match for what I'm asking for? What is it that I want out of this experience of being alive in this moment? And start to do the dance of life, even in the death experience. Animals, this is why you always see dogs, they run like the gate's been left open. You know, your cat's playing like a kitten. And then one day you wake up and they've suddenly got little gray whiskers, or they're a little bit more stiff than they used to be. And then they die if we get out of the way and are able to say, thank you for sharing your life with me. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for bringing me the joy. I'm so grateful to have known you. And when we can get out of our way and stop resisting that our animals are ready to pass, to incarnate into a new body, to come back to us if they want, or to choose a different experience in the allowance, in that soul contract, then as that demonstrator of seamlessly moving between worlds, you get to say to your animal, please yourself. Please yourself. I am so happy. I'm so grateful that I know you. I love you. I will celebrate your memory. I will place you in the altar of my heart. And when you're ready, and if you're ready, come back. But my happiness, and this goes for all relationships, human and non-human, my happiness is not determined by you making me happy, by staying in a body that is hurting and suffering. Right? That's the beautiful freedom of choice that you give to yourself, and you give to other people, and you give to animals as well, and homes and places and things, right? Everything is an entity. Everything has its own vibrational frequency. So when we can stop trying to control things, when we stop trying to delay life, right? Delay death, right? We start protecting our life that we're not living. Our animals are shared to say, you have no control, right? They are brilliant demonstrators of how to live happy, healthy, fun, love, die. No struggle involved. The controlling, the resisting is what keeps us in struggle and suffering. And our animals don't want that from us. So just, put down the controlling manufactured point of views and manufactured realities and pico universes about what you think that means, right? Stop the meaning making. Be here now. Be free to choose what's good for you, what makes you happy. Please yourself. Be full of yourself. You don't ever see an animal wishing they were another animal. You don't see one dog comparing itself to another dog, or a cat saying, oh, your coat's better than my coat. They are just in that beautiful, expansive vibrational frequency of I am beautiful, I am enough, and I am here to experience my life. So enjoy the lessons, the soul contracts, the love, the laughter, and the joy, so that your animals get to experience freedom on their own terms, even if they're an inside cat, even if they're a snake in a terrarium. Tell them how beautiful they are. Tell them how you love them. And then go out there and play more. Play like someone let the gate open, and let your dog or your cat lead you there, or your little mouse. They are our allies in consciousness, and we can learn so much from them if we just stop talking so much and listen more. Listen to the unspoken, listen to the energetic frequencies. This is where intuition lives. This is where it's so easy to receive the messages from animals and animal totems and animal guides, our animals that have passed on the other side. And if you won't do it for yourself, do it for your dog, or your cat or your bird. All right. I send you much love on this beautiful full moon eclipse. May you release what you need to release. May you digest what needs to be digested. May you love like the gate got left open. May you speak your truth. May you be the vulnerable, beautiful you that you're your animal companions, your pets know you to be, and that maybe you haven't quite expressed just yet. Um, and just know, that you are so loved, that you are an infinite being of light, and your animals know it. And little Archie's just done his little downward dog pose. So I guess that's the end of this. Um, I love you. Have a good rest of your day. And if you like this, or you know somebody who might need to hear this, please share it. Um, Give me your insights, give me your ahas, tell me what resonated with you. And I'll be back with some more wisdom from animal medicine really, really soon. Go howl at the moon, clean your crystals. I'm going to go and prepare myself a little altar outside, and I hope that the clouds clear. And even if I can't see the moon, I know that it's there. Um, and I will be dancing under the light of the moon, howling like my huskies, um, and just thanking you all for being in my life and my world. All right, bye.